Why your warm house could be slowly hurting your feline friend. Last winter, a cat named Whiskers was taken to the emergency vet at 2 a.m. His owner, Sarah, had no idea anything was wrong until she spotted him shivering without control in the corner of her room. The medical result was mild hypothermia. But here is the surprising part. It happened inside her own house. The thermometer showed 68 degrees. Everything looked normal, yet Whiskers was in pain. And Sarah had no hint until it was nearly too late. Today, we are revealing 7 cold weather errors that make your cat suffer without you knowing it. And here is a fact that might amaze you. Research indicates that over 60% of cat owners unknowingly make at least 3 of these errors every single winter. These are not big, obvious blunders. They are small, quiet, and happening right now in houses that look just like yours. But before we explore these vital errors, let me greet you properly. Welcome to Perfect Facts, our cozy podcast-style channel where we share interesting facts, sweet stories, and surprising details about our favorite cats. Think of us as your fireside chat friend, where every episode brings you closer to knowing the mysterious and lovely world of cats. Today, we are looking into something very important for your cat's winter health. Now, here is why this matters. One of these 7 errors involves something you likely do every single day, thinking you are actually helping your cat stay cozy. Your cat is suffering in silence because that is exactly what felines do. Before we move forward, I need you to do something. Not for me or for this channel, but for your pet. Press that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. Why? Because the more people who see this data, the fewer cats will suffer for no reason this winter. You subscribing means YouTube will show it to more cat owners who really need this help. It is not about numbers. It is about protecting cats. So go ahead, subscribe and like this and video. Your cat will be grateful for it. Let us talk about why this is so significant. Cats are mysterious animals, aren't they? They seem so brave and self-reliant. But here is what most people do not see. When it comes to chilly weather, cats are much more fragile than we think. Unlike their wild relatives who grew thick winter fur and survival skills for tough climates, our house cats have been raised for thousands of years to live in warm, controlled spaces. They have actually lost many of those cold weather tools. The science behind how cats manage heat is very interesting. Cats keep a body temperature between 100.5 and 102.5 degrees, which is higher than ours. To keep that heat, they need a room temperature that stays within what vets call the comfort zone. Now, for most cats, that is between 86 and 97 degrees, much warmer than what we humans find pleasant. But not all cats are the same when it comes to the cold. Short-haired types like Siamese and Cornish Rex, especially hairless ones like the Sphinx, are very sensitive to drops in heat. Long-haired types like Persians and Maine Coons have better natural fur, but even they are not safe from the problems we are about to discuss. Age is a huge factor too. Kittens under 6 months old have not fully built their heat control systems yet. Older cats, especially those over 10 years old, lose some of their skill to manage body heat well. Their energy slows down, and they become more sensitive to changes in the air. Here is what makes me sad. Your cat cannot tell you when they are freezing. They cannot say, "Hey, I am not comfortable here." Instead, they do what their nature tells them. They hide it. In the wild, showing weakness makes you a target. That nature does not go away just because your cat lives in a nice home. So, what are these 7 errors? We are talking about temperature myths, hidden drafts in spots you would never guess, water issues that hit your cat's whole body, air quality troubles from the very tools meant to keep you warm, surfaces that quietly cause ache, feeding errors that lower nutrient intake, and a debated 7th error that goes against what many sites tell you about cat care. Let us start with error number 1, the temperature trap. You set your heat to 68 or 70 degrees. It feels nice to you. You are wearing a sweater, maybe some thick socks, and you feel totally fine. So, your cat must be fine too, right? That is wrong. The truth is that what feels good to you is not always good for your cat. Most houses are kept between 68 and 72 degrees during winter. That is far below the level where your cat can keep its body heat without using up extra energy. Research in pet medicine has shown that cats are most happy in spaces between 75 and 80 degrees. That is a big difference. But it is not only about the number on your wall, it is about small climate zones in your home. That 72-degree reading is only measuring the heat in one specific spot. The place where your cat actually sleeps might be several degrees colder, especially if it is near an outside wall or a window. Look for these small signs. That your cat is too chilly. Are they always looking for warm spots like the top of your laptop or cable box? Are they sleeping tucked into very tight balls? Do they seem less active than they usually are? These are the ways your cat tells you they are not comfortable. Recorded cases show that being in temperatures below a cat's comfort zone for a long time can lead to health problems. Their immune system becomes weaker, making it easier for them to get breathing infections. Their body has to work too hard to stay warm, which can lead to losing weight or eating more without gaining weight. Older cats with joint pain feel more hurt when they are cold, though they will not always show obvious signs. The fix is not necessarily turning up your main heater. It is about making warm spots just for your cat. Think about using heated beds, warm blankets in their favorite areas, or cozy covered cat beds placed away from outside walls. One cat owner named Maria noticed her 8-year-old cat, Oliver, had become very tired during the winter. She thought he was just getting old. But after putting a heated pad in his favorite sleeping spot, she saw him turn back into the playful cat he was during the summer. It was not his age, it was the temperature. But changing the heat in your home is only the start. This is because the second error is happening in 8 out of every 10 homes right now. It involves the place where your cat spends most of the day. That spot you think is the safest and most comfortable area in your whole house. I am talking about the invisible cold zones stealing your cat's comfort. Those safe spots near windows have invisible drafts around them. And yes, even closed windows can be a major problem for your cat. You might think that since your windows are shut, they cannot be an issue. The reality is that windows are weak points for heat in your home. Even when closed tight, they let in the cold from outside. This creates what scientists call cold zones that reach several feet into your room. Glass moves temperature much faster than thick walls. When it is 30 degrees outside and 70 degrees inside, that window glass acts like a heater for cold air. The air right next to the glass cools down, gets heavy, and sinks, creating a steady flow of cold air along the floor. This is a moving current of cold, and it is happening right now at every window you have. Research on indoor air shows that these cold zones can be 3 to 5 degrees lower than the rest of the room. Your cat is smaller and closer to the ground, so they feel these drops in heat much more than you do. Studies show that cats actively stay away from areas where the heat changes by more than 3 to 5 degrees from what they like. Here's the problem. Their favorite sunny window spot from the summer becomes a cold trap during the winter. Watch how your cat acts. Does your cat avoid certain rooms when it is cold? Do they stop sleeping in spots they loved when it was warm? These are not random choices. Your cat is finding the warm and cold parts of your home and showing you where the problems are. The health results are very real. Vet data shows a big rise in breathing infections during winter months. The constant change in temperature puts stress on their immune system. This makes them more likely to get sick from germs they would normally fight off with ease. The signs can be hard to see. You might notice some sneezing, watery eyes, less cleaning of their fur, or just less energy. Many owners think their cat just has a cold, not realizing the room itself is the cause. So what is the fix? First, check the seals on your windows. Even tiny gaps create big drafts. Adding weather tape is cheap and makes a huge difference. Second, move your cat's beds and furniture at least 3 feet away from windows and outside walls. Third, use thick curtains. Close them at night to block the cold, but open them during sunny days. A woman named Jennifer had a cat named Luna who got sick every winter for 3 years. Multiple vet visits. Vet visits and medications did not fix the problem permanently. Then Jennifer put up thick curtains and moved Luna's bed away from the window. That winter, there were no breathing issues at all. The fix was not medicine, it was the room itself. But shielding your cat from cold air is only the first step. There is another error happening right now that is even more hidden. This affects your cat's whole body, from their kidneys to their bladder. It starts with something as simple as their water bowl. Here is what surprised me. Cats actually drink much less water in winter. One of the main reasons is that the water is too cold. Think about your own habits. On a freezing morning, do you want ice-cold water or something closer to room temperature? Your cat feels the same way, but they cannot change the faucet themselves. Cold water sitting in a bowl on a chilly floor can be very cold. That is not just unpleasant, it actively stops your cat from drinking. Cats are already known for not drinking enough water because they come from desert ancestors. When you add cold water to the mix, you create a big risk for dehydration. Dehydration in cats leads to very serious health problems, especially with their kidneys and bladder. Pet hospitals see a clear rise in bladder infections and kidney issues during winter months. Not drinking enough water is a major cause. The best water temperature for cats is room temperature, around 60 to 72 degrees. Some cats even like it a little warmer. Here are the quiet signs of dehydration. Check your cat's skin by gently pulling it up between their shoulders. In a healthy cat, it should snap back fast. If it stays up or moves back slowly, your cat needs water. Look at their gums. They should be wet and slippery, not dry. Also, watch their energy. Dehydrated cats become very tired. The fixes are easy. First, put more water bowls around your home, especially in warm spots. Second, think about getting a water fountain with a warming feature. The movement attracts cats, and the warmth helps them drink more. Third, mix water into your cat's wet food. This is a very easy way to help them stay hydrated. There is a story about a cat named Smokey. His owner, Robert, saw Smokey going to the litter box often and looking like he was in pain. The vet found bladder crystals, which are very painful. Robert started warming Smokey's water slightly and adding water to his meals. Within weeks, Smokey felt much better. 6 months later, the crystals were gone. Something as simple as the temperature of the water made a huge difference. Now, have you seen any of these issues with your own cat? Leave a comment below and tell me if your cat drinks less in the winter. I read every comment and will answer your questions. These first two errors, cold air and cold water, might seem small, but they hurt your cat's health in a big way. The next thing we will discuss is the error that worries me most. It is so common that even vets have made it with their own pets. It involves something you use every day in winter that seems safe or even helpful. But what it does to your cat's breathing is something most people never find out until it is too late. Before we share that, you need to know why cats hide their sickness so well. The answer is in their nature to survive. Once you understand this, you will see your cat's behavior in a new way. This is when your heater becomes your cat's enemy. Let me tell you why cats are experts at hiding pain. In the wild, looking weak makes you a target for other animals. This instinct is still inside every house cat. So, when your cat is cold or in pain, they hide it. They suffer quietly, and by the time you see a problem, it has often been there for weeks. This is why the next error is so risky. You will not see the signs until they are serious. We are talking about air quality, specifically the dry air from heaters. This is the mistake even doctors for pets have made. When you turn on the heat, the moisture in the air drops. Heaters do not add moisture, they just warm the air up. Warm air spreads the moisture thin, making the room very dry. The best moisture level for cats is between 40% and 60%. Most heated homes in winter drop much lower than that. It becomes as dry as a desert. This matters because cats have sensitive linings in their nose, throat, and lungs. These parts need to stay wet to work right and trap dust and germs. When the air is too dry, these linings can crack and get irritated. Then they cannot protect your cat from getting sick. Dry air also makes your cat's skin itchy and can trigger asthma attacks. How do you know if your cat is suffering? Look for too much licking or grooming, frequent sneezing, or eyes that look watery. Here is a very serious sign: breathing through the mouth. Cats should always breathe through their nose. If your cat has their mouth open to breathe and they aren't hot or stressed, that is an emergency. The fixes are simple. First, get a tool to measure the moisture in your air. Try to keep it between 40% and 60%. Second, use humidifiers in the rooms where your cat spends time. Third, think about adding cat-safe plants like spider plants or Boston ferns, which naturally help increase the moisture in the air. Also, keep your pet away from direct sources of heat. Make sure they stay a safe distance from space heaters, radiators, and floor vents. Cats love the warmth, so they will often sit right next to these heaters without realizing they are breathing in the driest and most irritating air in your whole home. I want to share a story about Bella, a beautiful Siamese who started having what her owner, Michelle, thought were just hairballs. Bella would crouch down and make a hacking sound, but nothing would ever come up. Michelle tried different foods, hairball medicine, and more brushing, but nothing worked. Finally, the vet listened to Bella's lungs and heard the wheezing of feline asthma. The cause was the extremely dry air from the heating system in the house. Michelle bought a humidifier and kept the air moisture at 50%, and Bella's coughing disappeared completely. Have you seen your cat doing anything like this? Leave a comment and let me know. Dry air attacks your cat from the inside, but there is another winter problem attacking them from below. This one causes a lasting pain that your cat will never show you directly. We are talking about cold surfaces and what they do to your cat's joints. Think about where your cat walks and sits: hardwood floors, tile, and stone. These surfaces feel cold to your bare feet. Now, imagine you are a small animal with your whole body much closer to these floors. For cats with arthritis, which affects almost 90% of cats over 12 years old, that cold is causing real pain. Chilly temperatures make joints stiff. The fluid that helps joints move smoothly becomes thicker and less helpful. What makes this even harder to spot is that cats with arthritis do not limp like dogs do. They simply move less. Most owners think this is just normal aging, but it is actually pain. Cold floors make existing joint problems much worse. The signs are hard to see: being unwilling to jump onto the couch, moving slowly in the morning, changing how they sleep, or grooming themselves less. Large breeds like Maine Coons and Ragdolls are especially at risk, but even young, healthy cats can feel uncomfortable. The fix involves making warm, padded spaces. Thermal pet beds that support their bones are very helpful. Heated pads provide steady, gentle warmth. Put thick blankets on their favorite spots and think about adding ramps or steps to help them get onto high furniture. There is a story I love about Maximus, a 13-year-old Maine Coon who had stopped hanging out with his family. He spent all day on the couch and barely moved. His owners thought they were watching him fade away in his final months. But his vet suspected the cold was hurting his joints. They set up heated beds, added ramps to his favorite spots, and put thick rugs over the cold floors. Within 2 weeks, Maximus was moving around again. Within a month, he was playing with toys. This decline was not certain. It was something that could be stopped. 5 mistakes are down, and you now have the knowledge to greatly improve your cat's winter. The final 2 errors involve something even more basic. One is about your cat's food, but with a change that most people never think about. The other challenges the very idea of cat independence. When you understand both, you will realize that winter cat care is not just about comfort. It is about knowing that our cats need us more than we have been told. There is a temperature twist that changes everything about feeding. There is a common belief that is actually wrong, and we are about to flip it completely. First, let me describe something you probably do every day. You open your fridge, take out your cat's wet food, put it in their bowl, and set it down. Your cat walks over, smells it, and walks away. You think they are just being picky or do not like that flavor. But the problem is not the food, it is the temperature. Here is the truth. Cats care much more about the temperature of their food than we realized. Serving cold food straight from the fridge is not just unappetizing. It actually hurts their digestion and how they take in nutrients. Cats in the wild eat prey they just caught, which means their food is at body temperature, around 100 to 102 degrees. Their whole body grew to process food at this heat. Their stomach enzymes work best when food is warm. Their sense of smell, which is how they decide to eat, is much stronger when food is warm and smells good. When you serve food right from the fridge, it is usually very cold. That is a massive difference from what your cat's body expects. Cold food does not smell as strong and can shock their stomach, leading to pain, slow digestion, and sometimes vomiting. Studies show that cats always prefer food served at room temperature or slightly warmer. This is not just a whim, it is part of their biology. In winter, this matters more because cats need more calories to stay warm. If their food is cold and they eat less, they might lose weight or become pickier. The fix is easy. Let the food sit out for 15 to 20 minutes before serving, or warm it by putting the container in warm water. You can also use the microwave for just a few seconds, making sure to stir it and test that it is warm, not hot. There is a story about a cat named Oliver who became harder to feed every winter. His owner, David, tried every expensive brand. Oliver would eat a tiny bit and stop. Then David started warming Oliver's food before serving. The change happened fast. Oliver finished every meal and gained back his weight. It was not about the quality of the food, it was about the heat. 6 mistakes are down, with 1 more to go. This final one challenges a core belief about cats. We have been told many times that cats are independent and self-sufficient. They are animals that can take care of themselves. Leave them home alone with enough food and water, and they will be fine, right? That is wrong, at least not during winter in certain situations. Here is the truth. Domestic cats have lost many survival skills their wild ancestors had. They have been raised, for thousands of years, to live in spaces controlled by humans. They depend on us much more than people think, especially when it comes to keeping a safe body temperature in the cold. The myth that cats are totally self-reliant has led to dangerous situations. Cats left alone during winter, especially for long periods, can face serious risks. I am not talking about a quick trip to the store. I am talking about being gone all day when the heaters are turned down, weekend trips where homes are left cold to save money, or even power outages during winter storms. Cats feeling heat stress can get hypothermia in 24 to 48 hours, depending on how cold it is and the cat's age. Older cats, young kittens, cats with health issues, and hairless or short-haired types are most at risk. I am not trying to scare you, but I am asking you to think carefully about your cat's winter safety when you are away. If you are leaving for work and your heat stays at a good level, your cat is fine. But if you are traveling for days and turning the heat down to 50 or 60 degrees, that is a problem. If there is any chance of a power outage during a storm and you are not home, that is a big risk. The fixes are all about being ready. Use a thermostat you can program to keep safe temperatures. Think about pet sitters or neighbors who can check in every day. Put in cameras that monitor the temperature. Have self-heating cat beds as a backup. Most importantly, have an emergency plan. So, let me ask, have you thought about your winter emergency plan? Share your ideas in the comments. Let us bring this all together. 7 errors. 7 chances to greatly improve your cat's winter. Temperature myths, leaving cats cold. Hidden drafts making cold zones. Cold water stopping them from drinking. Dry air hurting their breathing. Cold floors causing joint pain. Cold food lowering their appetite. And the dangerous idea that cats can handle extreme cold on their own. These are small errors with big results. But here is the good news. Now you know. And knowledge gives you the power to change everything for your cat this winter. You are not a bad owner for making these mistakes. Most of us were never taught this. The important thing is what you do now. These are not expensive or hard fixes. A tool to measure moisture costs very little. Warming your cat's food takes 2 minutes. Moving a cat bed costs nothing. These are simple changes that make huge improvements. Winter can be a cozy and happy season for your cat. With heated beds in the right spots, The right air moisture, fresh room temperature water, and your care, your cat can do great during the coldest months. Your cat depends on you totally. They trust you to keep them safe, cozy, and healthy. They cannot look up cat care. They cannot change the heater or move their own bed. They need you to notice, to care, and to act. And now you can. You have information that most cat owners never learn. Use it and share it. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Perfect Facts so you never miss tips that could improve your cat's life. Share this video with other cat owners. Leave a comment telling me which errors you found in your own home. I read every comment and answer your questions. Next time, we are looking into the mysterious reasons why cats suddenly run around the house at night, and the science will surprise you. Until then, keep your kitties cozy, warm, and loved. Your cat is counting on you, and now you are ready to never let them down. Thank you for being the kind of owner who cares enough to learn and give your pet the best life possible.